presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are
Spring Training 2013 continues at Disney as the Yankees come to town. Just 16 days are left for Freddie Gonzalez and the newest Braves before opening day, April 1st in Atlanta. Tonight, more Grapefruit League action from Lake Buena Vista, Florida. On a warm, breezy night, it's time for Braves baseball. This evening from Champion Stadium, our spring training Braves preview continues with a look at the New York Yankees. The Braves and Yankees mixing things up for the fourth and final time here in Grapefruit League action. And good evening, everybody. Chip and Joe back here with you for our second telecast of the spring. Braves bats have been booming and the starting pitching coming along. Tonight, Joe, we get to look at Paul Maholm's work.
Well, this has got the makings of a real good staff, Chip. I mean, and sometimes Paul Maholm gets overlooked. He was acquired last year from the Chicago Cubs, made 11 starts with the Braves, had an excellent ERA, and actually mixed in a complete game shutout in one of those 11 starts. He's a guy who works fast, throws strikes, fields his position well, and just a very good left-handed complement to some guys who are already pretty solid in this Braves rotation. Tim Hudson just shy of 200 career wins, and then last year the progress made by Chris Medlin and Mike Minor was significant, so they're going to be strong parts of the rotation. And then the emergence this spring of Julio Teheran really stepping up, showing people what he can do. Looks like he's going to be the number 5 guy.
No doubt about it. The pitching staff, one of the great strengths of this Braves ball club. The bats were booming as well. We've talked a lot about the offense. We saw a couple of long homers yesterday. We'll see if the good times at the plate can continue for the Braves behind Paul Maholm as he and the Braves face the Yankees tonight. Starting lineups from Champion Stadium coming right up after this. Sports South are brought to you in part by Honda Lawn and Garden. It is a beautiful night for baseball here at Lake Buena Vista, Florida, and a standing room only crowd is gathered for the Braves and the New York Yankees here at Champion Stadium. And as the Braves take the field, let's check out tonight's Toyota starting lineup. First for the Yankees, let's get things straight. There's no Derek Jeter, there's no A-Rod, there's no Curtis Granderson, there's no Mark Teixeira. The Yankees, as you know, are injury-riddled this spring, and this is the squad they sent to Orlando on a day where they had a split squad spring training day. Eduardo Nunez will lead off at shortstop. Jason Nix, Ben Francisco, an interesting story. He's the third-place hitter tonight. Melky Mesa is in center field for the Yankees, and our old pal Matty Diaz, trying to make this Yankees ball club as a right-handed platoon outfielder, is the DH, and he will bat seventh.
Paul Maholm on the mound for the Braves, making his fifth start of the spring. There are his numbers, and he's coming off his best outing against the Nationals 5 days ago. 5 innings, a 2-hit shutout ball. He walked one and struck out 5. 30 years old, 6'2", 220 out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. He's been in the big leagues for 7 years, a former first-round pick by the Pirates out of Mississippi State. Sinker slider guy, doesn't overpower you, but throws strikes and challenges you and tries to get you to hit the ball on the ground.
That means the defense behind Maholm will be on its toes. Let's start with the Braves outfield. Reed Johnson gets the start in center field tonight. The Braves infield defense, Juan Francisco starts at third, Chris Johnson at first, and Evan Gattis, who's been the talk of camp, will work behind the plate. And that's Eduardo Nunez, the Yankee shortstop, leading things off. Not much luck at the plate for Nunez so far this spring. But some luck here in the first inning. He beats that ball into the ground for a leadoff single.
This Yankee team is devastated by injuries. Alex Rodriguez not expected back until maybe the All-Star break. Teixeira injured himself in the World Baseball Classic. Strained a tendon in his wrist. He's out 8 to 10 weeks. Jeter just started playing a little bit. Not sure if he's going to be ready opening day, but that will be a challenge. And then Robinson Cano is playing with the Dominican in the World Baseball Classic. So all 4 of their starting infielders not available. And then their center fielder broke a bone in his hand in spring training game when he was hit by a pitch, Curtis Granderson.
And that doesn't even get to the pitching staff, which has CeCe Sabathia coming back from elbow surgery. Phil Hughes has been banged up this spring. And Joe, can you ever remember a time where the Yankees have been scouring all corners of the earth to try to find serviceable major league players like they are now?
No, they have been on the waiver wire. Signed Brennan Bosch from the Tigers, who was just released a day or two ago because they need some help in the outfield. And that's what prompted that little dust-up controversy about trying to get a hold of Chipper to see if he wanted to play.
They reached out to Derek Lee as well. That obviously didn't happen for the Yankees, so they have a lot of holes to try to fill. And that's fouled at the plate. The runner was moving on the play. Nunez will head back to first with a 1-2 count to Jason Nix.
I'm excited to watch Evan Gattis catch tonight. You know, we've heard so much about him and what he's been doing at the plate, but I've never really had a chance to watch him catch a ball game, see him catch an inning or two here. I know the other night over in Jupiter, tying run at third base in the 9th inning, he made 2 spectacular blocks on pitches in the dirt. Showed you some quickness back there. But everybody keeps talking about how much he's improved and what a valuable part of the team he could be.
There's a ground ball to third. And the Braves turn 2 on a nice scoop at first by Chris Johnson. And that partner is Paul Maholm at his best. When he's doing that, he's very, very effective.
Well, keep in mind the base hit was a ground ball, too. It just found a hole. And you're right. That's when he's at his best, is keeping his infielders on their toes. Good feed from Francisco and a good scoop by Johnson.
So here's the Yankees, Francisco. It's Ben Francisco. And as I mentioned a moment ago, the interesting story for Francisco, he was with the Indians and asked for his release from the Cleveland Ball Club. Well, the Yankees scooped him up on Monday, and here he is with a chance to be a very important piece to the puzzle in the first weeks of the year for New York. Braves fans remember him from his days with the Phillies. Spent some time with Toronto and Houston as well. As Mahalam didn't get that call, a ball and 2 strikes. Larry Vanover, by the way, is the home plate umpire tonight. Andy Fletcher, Jeff Gosney, and Jerry Lane work the base paths.
Mahalam, a 13-game winner last year overall, combined with his numbers between Chicago and Atlanta. 4 and 5 with the Braves.
Did he go? He did not. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Watch Gattis go down there, keep the ball in front of him. One of the impressive things to me, Brian Snitker was pointing out about Gattis's blocks the other night with the game on the line, was that he kept the ball close to him.
Another chopper. This time Francisco makes the play cleanly. And Paul Mahalam, an uneventful top half of a scoreless first. Become a good start for Paul Mahalam. Here come the Braves. Look at Freddie Gonzalez's Toyota starting lineup for our final matchup of the spring against the Yankees. A few of the regulars get the evening off. That means B.J. Upton's going to lead off and be the designated hitter tonight. Evan Gattis in a RBI spot behind the plate. Chris Johnson's at first. Ramiro Pena will bat ninth at shortstop.
He's a former Yankee and a former teammate of this guy, David Phelps. 26 years old, 6'2", 200 pounds, out of St. Louis. He went to the University of Notre Dame, where the Yankees took him in the 14th round back in 2008. Good numbers this spring. One of the best ERAs in the Grapefruit League, and last year in the American League. Made some starts for the Yankees and had an excellent ERA, which was 3rd best among all American League rookies.
And with the aforementioned injuries to CC Sabathia, who is pitching again, and Phil Hughes, who isn't yet, David Phelps a very important part of this Yankee ball club, it would appear. As B.J. Upton rolls one foul and quickly falls behind 0-2.
He's in a battle with Ivan Nova for that 5th spot. But if Pineda is not able to go, that may mean that they're both going to make the club.
Little low to B.J. Upton, leading off tonight.
Led off some with the Rays last year. 14 times he batted first. He's done it 167 times in his career, so this is not strange duty for him. Gives Freddie another option if he has to give Andrelton Simmons a night off. Swing and a miss. And Cervelli with a low throw to first. Dan Johnson scoops it up. And Upton's out number one. You know the old saying, can't tell the players without a scorecard? It certainly applies when you look at this Yankee defense.
No question. But I have a new favorite player on their team, Melky Mesa.
And Cervelli, a big league catcher. As you see, Mr. Mesa. Jason Hayward hits a .195 his spring average. 3 homers, 3 RBIs.
I got to the park pretty early today. When I did, that batting cage was being used heavily. A lot of soft toss work going on.
Popped up. Cervelli for out number 2.
Jason Hayward, Justin Upton, a couple of the guys that were in there. Jordan Schaefer also, but some guys really working hard trying to get some things ironed out with Greg Walker. Got tied up there. Phelps got the ball in on his hands. Couldn't get the barrel to it. Phelps doesn't overpower you, but his fastball is 89 to 92 with some sink. He was rated as having the best slider in the Yankee organization by Baseball America. As a changeup, his 4th best pitch is curveball.
Here's Justin. Strike 1. Wonder if he cuts his fastball. If he does, he's got arguably the best teacher in the world on his Yankee roster, doesn't he?
He would have. He'd know that he'd want to go over by Mr. Rivera and find out. There's the slider, and he couldn't stop his swing. It's like a hard slider with some late break.
Nice stop, Cervelli. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gentle breeze blowing toward the left field corner. Again, standing room crowd for the Yankees and Braves tonight. And another breaking ball. This one caught the outside corner. David Phelps, a couple of first inning strikeouts. And we move to the 2nd inning.
Atlanta Braves on Fox Sports South and brought to you in part by Ram Trucks and by Yellowwood.
Second inning for Paul Mahalan. No score as you see. Francisco Cervelli, the Yankees catcher, will lead things off. Cervelli hitting .222 this spring, a homer, a couple of RBIs. You think of Yankees catchers in recent days, of course, recent years, I should say. You think of Jorge Posada. As Mahalan spears that on the mound, makes a good play, 1 out. Posada was at Yankees camp the other day. He was just playing catch with some of his former Yankee teammates, and somebody suggested, hey, why don't you grab a first base mitt and head over to first? And Posada said, not a chance, because can you imagine what the New York media would have said about that?
Joe Girardi enjoying a doubleheader today. He got here about a half hour ago after watching the other part of his team play a game today over in Tampa.
That one didn't go well. The Phillies beat the Yankees in a split squad affair. Here's Joe's new favorite Yankee, Melky Mesa. And foul past third.
Yankees had a very good year last year. They won more games than anybody in the American League, in case you didn't know. They won 95 games, beat Baltimore in the division playoffs, and then got swept by the Tigers. So it's not like they're coming off a bad year by any means.
But how in the world do you replace all that they've got to replace?
You don't. You really don't. And in that division, with what Toronto did to improve their ball club, you get off to a slow start while you're missing all those important parts. You could get buried pretty early in April, and they open up with a pretty long road trip. Open the season at Boston.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And you made a great point before the game. Might be a lot of fun to read the back of the tabloids if you're a baseball fan if the Yankees and Mets struggle in April. Tried to tie him up, and Mesa fought it off. Still a 2-2 count.
Paul's got that pitch that we brag on all the time that Greg Maddux had, that Chris Medlin employs to great effect. He does it from the left side, where he runs that fastball 2-seamer in on right-handers and tries to get it to tail back over the inside corner. That was a pitch right there. Mesa didn't give up on it, able to foul it off.
He didn't get that one, though. And Mahalan has his first strikeout of the night. 2 up, 2 down in the Yankees' second. Single game tickets, Braves fans, are on sale now. Don't miss exciting matchups this season. Of course, opening day is April 1st against the Phillies. Braves will be home for the 4th of July as well. Get tickets to see your 2013 Braves now. Visit Braves.com/tickets or call 800-745-3000. This is Thomas Neal. Or as we like to call him, old number 60.
We got a lot of big numbers here tonight.
Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike.
Huge crowd. There's not even an ounce of grass over there on the berm open to anyone.
2-2.
A little bit out there and straightaway left, but down the left field line, it is booked. When I did get here early, I did check out the berm for you. It's rolling about a 12 on the stent meter.
I was to say, you're the only guy who got here early.
Not with your traffic.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the fun-loving guys at the Orlando DOT.
Hot shot to first. Chris Johnson kept it in front and fumbled it. Tried to pick it up with the glove, and that cost him. So Thomas Neal's aboard with 2 outs.
He made a really nice play to keep this from getting down the line, but then looked up before he had the ball in his glove.
So Mahalam back to the stretch, and a nice cheer for former Brave Matty Diaz. Matt's trying to make the Yankee ball club, but it's been a rough spring for him. He drives this ball deep right. Hayward twists and turns, but gathers it in. And that'll retire the Yankees in the 2nd inning. Juan Francisco leads things off for the Braves when we return. There indeed is Juan Francisco. He'll start things off for the Braves in the 2nd. And boy, partner, did he touch one off in our ball game yesterday.
There apparently was one other ball hit over the yellow wall earlier this year, but it was by an opponent, but not to deep right center like that one was. He was out there by the TV truck, indeed, landed somewhere near the steps and go into the truck. So there's no questioning his power and how far he can hit them. It's just a matter of making a little more consistent contact and being satisfied with a few line drives occasionally, too.
So let's see what he can do with Phelps to start the 2nd. Phelps was impressive in the 1st with a couple of strikeouts.
As you watch from center field on one swing, the one thing that Greg Walker and Juan work on constantly is this front shoulder turning into full.
Pulled to the right side and through.
There's no doubt either that he can hit a fastball. It's the breaking balls that are giving him trouble because this shoulder turns too far in, and then he's already committed to start opening up by the time the breaking ball gets there. This the fastball is up, and he will zero that every time. So by turning the shoulder and the hip and twisting back toward the catcher too far, by the time he gets back to where he needs to be to swing, if it's a breaking ball, his timing is all thrown off.
Evan Gattis is the Braves hitter. He's a big man having a big spring, and he's got a big story. It's remarkable.
2 homers, 10 RBIs. He's got 5 doubles too. And I love his stance. Check that out. Wide stance, crouched, and no gloves.
And for the moment, the Braves spring RBI leader. Greg Walker liked too, Joe, was his approach with 2 strikes. Didn't see it there, as Phelps takes care of Gattis for the first out. He's made a lot of contact, but strikes out for the 9th time this spring here in the second.
And he's 3 for 6 as a pinch hitter too, which also I think adds to his value on the team, proving that he can come off the bench cold and get a knock.
Chris Johnson bats for the first time, and he unloads to center. Mesa to his left. 2 out.
A little bit of breeze blowing in tonight from right center. Might have held that up some.
Tyler Pasternak getting a look at second base this evening. Made a great point in the ball game yesterday. There's nothing wrong with Tyler's bat. He is swinging it very well this spring again. But he's also made 3 errors.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how many of those were throwing errors. He got saved on an error last night by Chris Johnson on a play in the dirt, saved on an error today on a throw to first on the double play ball. But we were talking about their batting practice for the team yesterday and what a show those guys are putting on, the outfielders especially. Well, today the show was from Tyler Pasternak and the guy on deck, Reed Johnson. They were very impressive.
That ball's hard hit, but right at Mesa, and that will retire the side. Braves pick up their first hit in the ball game, but still no score after 2. That's best seat in the house right there, fans. And our very busy broadcast continues with a chat with Brandon Beachy in the bottom of the 3rd inning. We'll check in with Braves general manager Frank Wren. And we'll talk to some of the other players once they are taken out of the ball game tonight against the Yankees. Meet the panel, friends. These football vets are putting 5 of the top draft prospects in the hot seat, starting with Florida State quarterback E.J. Manuel. The panel premieres Monday at 10 on Fox Sports South, plus new episodes every night next week, presented by the Hyundai Gattis. Here's another man trying to open some Yankee eyes at first base, Dan Johnson. Johnson's played the big leagues with Oakland and with Tampa Bay.
That 043 is not going to brighten anybody's day just yet, but there's an opening there for the first several weeks of the season at first base for somebody.
Boy, the Mark Teixeira injury is kind of a scary sounding thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and he did it while hitting off a tee with the World Baseball Classic USA team. That's where it first started.
Line to short. And Pena's there for the first out. If there is some silver linings for the Yankees, perhaps, is that Mark has always been an historically slow starter at the plate. If he misses a month, maybe he'll be able to come out of the chute in May or June and be the perennial all-star Mark Teixeira. Here's Jose Pereira. A natural shortstop getting a chance to play second base. Another international draft pick by the Yankees. They signed this kid when he was 16 years old. And a chance in center for Reed Johnson. And he makes it cleanly.
Good jump by Reed on that ball, hit right at him.
And back to the top, Eduardo Nunez.
Great angle here to see that Reed was already coming in on the ball, read it perfectly.
It's been said of this kid in the batter's box for the Yankees that he's the heir apparent to Derek Jeter.
Big shoes to fill at whatever point that is. I was looking in the notes. Jeter only has played in 2 games. 9 total at bats, I think, and I'm not sure if he played today over in Tampa.
Did he? He did.
So he added to those numbers, but that's as far as he's come along so far this spring after his broken ankle.
Little high, 3 balls, no strikes to Nunez. Eduardo is a third of the way to first base.
I guess he thought it was high because he got the pitch before called a ball that was very similar.
That one's in the dirt. I thought you were going with the high Nunez reference. But he's at first with 2 outs.
It would have been better.
Yeah. Here's Nix. Nix won't be the everyday third baseman for the Yankees. Kevin Youkilis will be. New York signed Youkilis, who can also play some first base as well.
They also re-signed Ichiro over the winter time. So they've got Suzuki. We'll have him in right field too, and he's having a good spring.
Pop fly foul out of play. No balls and a strike. Well, you're right. Yankees are a year older, and yes, they have all those injuries, but still a 95-win team last year. The Yankees have been in the playoffs 17 of the last 18 seasons. To third. That handcuffed Francisco, but he hung with it, made a nice play. Mahalam continues his good work. 3 scoreless innings so far tonight. When we come back, we'll check up with Brandon Beachy. One coming up for the Braves in the 3rd inning, and as promised, time for our Yellowwood interview. Let's check in with Mr. Brandon Beachy, who's kind enough to join us tonight. Brandon, how you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Feeling really good, and better than a couple months ago, that's for sure.
Are you on schedule?
Yeah, whatever that means. I'm still on it.
So what is your schedule? What are you up to at this point from Tommy John?
Today was my first pen of 75 pitches, so I'm starting to add some bulk to my mound work, and the intensity's picking up a little bit, and my arm's responding well, and it's feeling good and getting stronger. I can feel it.
Line down the left field line by Reed Johnson. That is a fair ball. And Reed's going to have an extra base hit. It's a leadoff double in the 3rd inning.
Telling you, Reed was peppering the ball in BP, and I don't just mean line drives. He hit a ball about 3/4 of the way up the berm in left field too that got the attention of the outfielders who saw it. So a good start for him tonight. Brandon, what's the worst part of the rehab for you? What's been the worst part?
The waiting, the sitting around, not being able to do anything and just waiting for time to pass for the internal stuff to heal, and the mental part of it. Just dealing with not being good yet, I guess. The challenges that come with relearning, the things that used to be natural.
Pena lays down a bunt. It's beauty. Runner to third, 1 out. Pena with the sacrifice. Reed Johnson's at third base. B.J. Upton a chance to bring home the game's first run.
Ramiro Pena is really making an impression on the staff for some of the things he can do. Switch hitter, and does little things well, as he did for the Yankees last year when he got to play part-time. So another good job there. So we're still talking maybe around the All-Star break if everything goes well, Brandon?
If everything's going well, I'd like to think before that.
Okay.
Right around, my goal all along has been, around the 12-month mark. That's, mid to late June. So hopefully right before the break. But you know what? It's not about the day. And, if I have to miss a couple days because of what I'm feeling, I'm not too worried about that. So just getting back and being healthy and effective is what I'm looking forward to.
1 ball, no strikes for B.J. Upton. Bouncing ball right at the third baseman. And no chance for Reed Johnson to come home. Nix makes the play. And that's the second out. Well, Brandon, in the old days, it used to be a very small and exclusive club of men who have gone through Tommy John surgery. It's not the case anymore. That's got to make you feel awfully good knowing the incredible success rate of that game-changing operation.
Yeah, it's becoming just an overnight operation these days. I've got Chris Medlin locker next to me, and Tim Hudson down there, and half the guys on our staff have had it at one point. We've even got a couple of position players, I believe, that have been through it. So I've got more than enough guys to lean on when I don't know what I'm facing.
I would guess that patience part you were talking about is so hard because the rest of your body's in such good shape. You work hard to stay in shape and through your rehab, and there's only one little joint that won't cooperate.
Yeah, that's right. It's it was a challenge. Getting my strength back and my weight back and everything else, and that got back, and I've been feeling physically great for a while now, and then it's still just this tiny little thing inside my elbow that's kind of trying to catch up. There we go.
Jason Hayward with a nice 2-out hit. That'll score Reed Johnson. 4th RBI of the spring for Jason, and the Braves are up 1-0.
Remember, he got jammed a little bit his first time up when he popped up, and this ball out away from him, and he can extend his arms, put a nice swing on it. Braves on top.
Brandon, every team's different. Certainly this 2013 Braves ball club is much different without Chipper Jones. Martin Prado here. A lot of folks in Braves country talk about leadership and all of that stuff. Tell us what it's like being in the locker room with this new mix of players.
It's definitely different, but I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. We're having fun in there. We've got a really good group of guys, and it's a young team.
A little pop down the right field line. That is a foul ball. And Hayward back to first base, strike one.
You've got some big personalities that are no longer in there, not just Chipper and Martin, but Hensky, David Ross, who kind of patrol things in the clubhouse. But I'm told Gerald Laird is kind of that way. Is he, he asserted himself?
He's cut from the same mold as those guys, and it's a lot of fun having guys like that. And Reed Johnson's the same way. Chris Medlin and Tim Hudson. We keep it pretty light in there, and it's a good time.
Upton broke his bat as the fans start to do the chop.
75 pitches today off the mound. What's next? At what pace do you increase that workload?
Not as quickly as I'd like to, but I'll have 3 or 4 days, and I'll be back up there doing the same thing. I believe I've got a few different sessions of the same stuff before I make another step.
And fans, I'm sure, want to know too, at what percentage of velocity are you throwing those 75 pitches?
Well, today I was supposed to throw my first set at 50% effort, and then 75% my last one. And I don't know that I could physically throw a ball to the plate at 50% effort, so I don't know what that means. But I'm probably more at 75%, 80, 85% the last one. And velocity-wise, I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but it's not anything that's going to make anyone uncomfortable in the box, that's for sure.
Real quick, before this inning ends, if you can, talk about this training staff for the Braves, too, and what they do for you guys when you're going through the rehab and how important they are.
Yeah, Lloyd Van Pamlin's our physical therapist, and, we've got myself, Brian McCann, Paul Yanish, who all had some operations that we're coming back from, and he's our guy. He's got quite the workload with us, not to mention everybody else that needs things, and Jim Lovell and Jeff Porter are helping out as well, and it's a lot, and it's a testament to how hard those guys are working to bring us back and maintain the juggling act of keeping all of our routines and getting us out there on the field.
They do an excellent job, and I know you guys appreciate their hard work, and we can't wait to see you back, Brandon. I know it's not easy waiting, but we know it'll be worth the wait in June or July or whenever you get back from the Tommy John.
Yeah, thank you.
Little flare down the right field line. That'll drop for a hit. The Braves have him first and third. Who said that's dangerous down there, Brandon? Who's that?
That's Reed. That's Reed over there.
He's right.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, and some of that extra work that those guys were putting in the cage today on some soft toss with Hayward and Justin. A couple of knocks here this inning.
Yeah, it looked really good up there. We've got a dangerous lineup. In keeping with that word, it's going to be scary for some guys facing it, going through a second and third time. It's something I'm glad I'm not going to have to face.
And I know you want to get in there and hit too.
Oh yeah, you know, a little pop in the 9-hole doesn't hurt.
Yeah, we've really missed your bat. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Get well soon, kid. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks,
Brandon Beachy. Braves up a run here in the third. And Francisco rips one foul past first base, strike one. You mentioned, Joe, in our opening comments about this Braves pitching staff. We didn't even mention Brandon Beachy, who, when he went down, might have been the most effective starter on the staff.
I think he was pitching better than anyone. What a luxury, knowing that you can add him almost like a trading deadline acquisition for a frontline pitcher. Nobody expects him to come back and be exactly at the level he was at when he got hurt. But it'll be a nice progression through the end of the year, from the middle of the season to the end, to see how much better he does get.
No balls, 2 strikes for Juan Francisco. And a swing and a miss will take care of the Braves in the third inning. Ray Johnson double to start the frame. Jason Hayward brought him home with an RBI single. And the Braves have jumped in front 1-0 as we go to the fourth. Second time through the order now for Paul Mahalem, but he takes them out for the first time with the lead tonight. 1-0 Braves have the advantage as the 3, 4, 5 hitters are coming up for New York. We invite you to take advantage of the 33% discount on concessions when you buy a 2013 Braves season ticket package. They start at just 20 games, so get one today and start saving all season long. Visit Braves.com/season tickets or the number 404-577-9100. Francisco flies out on the first pitch to start the fourth. 1 up, 1 down.
That's pretty significant. A third off all your concessions. I like it.
Here's Cervelli, the catcher. Cervelli and the Braves have a little interesting history. This guy's first big league hit was a home run versus Chris Medlin
at Turner Field.
He had a no-hitter going.
Did he really?
Cervelli broke it up with the home run.
I remember that. Wow.
And a quick strike.
Russell Martin, another guy who's been behind the plate for the Yankees, was last year some. He's moved on.
think he's with the Pirates, whom we'll see on our spring training telecast schedule.
Oh, good pitch. Paul gives you a lot of motion. Once he steps back with his right foot, everything else then kind of speeds up, and he gives you a lot of motion. And when he throws that slow curveball, boy, it's really hard to keep your weight back.
Swing and a miss. Mahalam had Cervelli off stride, and Paul pitching beautifully. 2 quick outs.
Nice block here by Gattis, too. Asked for another breaking ball. Kept it right in front of him.
So Mahalam partners really racking up zeros. And while this isn't the A Yankee lineup, Mahalam did this to the A Nationals lineup his last start. So it looks like he's really, really sharp right now in the last 2 weeks of spring training.
Remember, yesterday we talked about Tim Hudson and how guys that rely on control and some finesse, sometimes it's hard for them to get that release point worked out in spring training and be sharp.
Oh, nice play at the bag, Francisco, and a perfect throw.
Oh, good arm.
Mahalam broke the bat of Melky Mesa, and Francisco with a nice backhanded stab retires the side. Yankees are out in order. The Braves try to add to their 1-0 lead.
Only
Evan Gattis leads off the 4th for the Braves. And Gattis part of this hit parade for the Braves in Grapefruit League action.
3rd in homers, 2nd in hits. Top 5 in extra base hits and RBIs as well. I don't think that's anything to shake your head at and say, yeah, well, it's spring training. I think that's something you better get used to. A lot of total bases.
And obviously we haven't seen the Braves lineup the way it's going to be configured opening day with Andrelton Simmons in the WBC. But looking at this club on paper, you've been here 20-odd years. Where does this lineup, in your estimation, rank for the Braves?
Well, I said before, and I'll say again, I think it's the best lineup, has the makings of the best lineup since 2003. That team was all-world. They led the league in just about every offensive category. With Vinny Castilla, Chipper, Sheffield, Javi, Andrew.
A mile-high fly ball to center by Gattis. And Mesa at the track hauls it in. That ball's hitting the wind about 390 feet. 1 out.
He's a horse. Actually, he's a bear,
yes,
as they called him in Venezuela. El Oso Blanco, the white bear.
Chris Johnson bats. Chris flied out to center as well. Tomorrow the Braves will play their third game in a row against a New York team. Braves will head down to Port St. Lucie and play the Mets. Julio Teheran will face Jonathan Neese. And then Monday here at Disney, it's Chris Medlin and Aaron Cook. So that's what's on tap for the Braves the next 2 ball games.
Yeah, I think Cliff Lee was supposed to pitch Monday, but the Phillies have pulled him back, not wanting him to pitch against a division rival, which when I was told that, I thought, well, that's kind of odd. I mean, as many times as the Braves have faced Cliff Lee, what difference would it make right now? But I'm sure they've got their reasons.
That's in the dirt.
The good thing about pitching a young guy like Teheran on the road at Port St. Lucie is that the Mets playing at home will have a lot of their regulars in there,
or what's left of it.
Yeah, you're not going to see David Wright, I don't think, who's still going to be on the shelf with an injury, but you're going to see players who are more major league ready, let's say, by playing in the home park, and that's a good test for Teheran.
Yeah, the Mets lost another guy today. Justin Turner turned his ankle, had to be helped off the field today. To second, and Chris Johnson is out number 2. Our next 2 spring training telecasts are indeed here in Orlando and against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Wednesday at 1 o'clock, we'll look at the battling Buccos. And back-to-back broadcasts for us. We'll take a peek at the Nationals. That's a 6 o'clock start on Thursday night next week here in Orlando. That's going to be quite a rivalry.
I was just going to say, as excited as I am about the prospects for this Atlanta team, and as good as I think they will be, make no mistake, the Nationals got better too.
Pasternicki with a shot to right field. He continues to swing a hot bat this spring and is aboard with 2 outs.
A good piece of hitting there by Tyler. Keep an eye on him. He might be running. But Washington got themselves a center fielder. They got themselves a closer. A guy that's familiar to Braves fans, Rafael Soriano. So they've improved in a couple of key areas that they needed some help in.
And they've already announced that Steven Strasburg will start on opening day. No great surprise. The Braves haven't yet announced whom they will start on opening day against the Phillies. Cole Hamels is going to get the ball for Philadelphia down to Turner Field. Quite an honor for him. Ray Johnson doubled and scored the game's only run. That was back in the Braves' 3rd. One ball, 1 strike. He had a big lead. And the ball dropped at first, otherwise they might have had him.
Johnson didn't know where it went. He turned. At first, I thought he was just trying to bluff Pasternicky, but he really didn't know where it went. He's looking around, and it was on the ground right there at the bag. In fact, it may have hit Tyler. Looked like Tyler was running, too.
Another half step on his lead from first. And a chopper back to the mound will retire Reed and the Braves. No runs, a hit, and left. We head to the fifth. There's your game summary. David Phelps and Paul Maholm each with 4 innings of work. The Braves have touched him on a Jason Hayward RBI single. And Paul just breezing merrily along. 46 pitches through 4 innings tonight.
Yeah, only 1 hit, and that was the leadoff batter in the first inning.
Do hitters like facing guys with a Maholm-like repertoire in spring training?
Well, not at this stage of camp. I think early in camp you don't mind it because you're so far behind the pitchers, speed-wise, timing-wise, that you don't mind seeing some off-speed guys. But by this point, you're getting some timing down, and you can get on some fastballs, so you want to see some guys bring it. And this guy's already in mid-season form.
Thomas Neal's the first Yankees hitter in the 5th. Matt Diaz and Dan Johnson to follow. Deep short. Pena dropped it, picked it back up, and Neal beats the play by a step.
Must be something about the way Neal hits ground balls that nobody can field them. He reached on an error by Chris Johnson earlier tonight.
And that's a shortstop on Pena. So Matt Diaz bats for the second time. He flied out to right his first time up. Hope Matt is able to make the Yankees roster. He's a good guy. Real good hitter. And you know, Joe, he had to be awfully frustrated at the way his season ended for the Braves last year with one of the oddest injuries we've ever heard of. If you recall, Matt was doing some yard work and had a palm tree frond or spike, I guess, lodge in his thumb, and they were able to remove that thorn, I guess, but there were still pieces of that left in his thumb, and it caused him an awful lot of discomfort and eventually required surgery.
Yeah, they had to eventually fillet his thumb to basically get that out of there.
To third, and the Braves turn another. They can. Better throw from Pasternaky that time. Second double play ball for Paul Maholm. And this indeed is Matt Dias talking about 2012 with the Braves.
Last year was obviously disappointing not getting to be a part of that team because it was a great group of guys. And, you know, I got to be around, but when you're not playing, you know, we call the DL instead of the disabled list the dead list. You're kind of dead in that locker room.
He was anything but dead. He was still a big part of the club. I know that you feel that way when you're not able to contribute, but he was still an important part of the team. We're all pulling for him to make the Yanks too.
Right down central, no balls, 2 strikes, and you gave Matt one of the great nicknames in Braves lore, I think, and it was really appropriate.
The hitting fool. He's always been able to put the ball in play, especially against left-handed pitchers. 325 average for Atlanta against lefties. And the ball he hit his first time up tonight to right field to Jason Hayward at Yankee Stadium, that's close to a home run. So if he's able to do that at Yankee Stadium, he might be able to pepper that right field wall.
Dan Johnson rolls it foul, a ball and 2 strikes. Well, the American League East this year is going to be some kind of division. You mentioned Toronto, Baltimore with their great improvements. The Tampa Bay Rays are always a threat. With that pitching staff and David Price and all those offensive players. Evan Longoria appears to be healthy. That's certainly a huge key for them.
Yeah, and Boston can't be any worse. So they've only got one way to go.
Yeah. Good point. That floated in, but no swing. 3-2.
Johnson was pointing down there like, check, see if I wouldn't. That was kind of funny. I guess he thought he was going to get rung up.
And he rips that one past Chris at first.
Him and Gattis went through 4 signs there before they found one. He found the one that Maholm wanted to throw that resulted in the base hit. Looked like a slider. He wanted a fastball away, and then he went to the changeup. Fastball away, no. Changeup, no. Curveball, no. Slider, okay. And he just kind of hung out over the plate there.
A strike to Jose Pirela, the Yankees' second baseman tonight. Can New York re-sign Robinson Cano?
Sure they can. They've got the wherewithal to do it.
Just short. Pena to Pasternaky. Another ground ball out by Maholm. He's got a handful of those tonight, and he leads 1-0. Sports South brought to you in part by Toyota and by Georgia Power. Paul Maholm continues his good work on the mound for the Braves. 60 pitches through 5 shutout innings so far.
A lot of strikes, too. 42 strikes. And mixing in all his pitches, using them all, throwing them all for strikes.
Hope Evans saying, don't ever shake me off again.
That'd be all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
He told me one time.
Pena, Upton, and Jason Hayward in the 5th inning. David Phelps doing for Joe Girardi and Larry Rothschild, the Yankees manager and pitching coach respectively, exactly what they hoped he would. Effective innings, throw strikes. And he may be nearing a spot in the Yankees rotation.
And just 1 run allowed. They'll make it 2 runs now in 18 innings of work this spring. There was one comparison I read about him, and there are some slight similarities I see comparing him to Mike Mussina a little bit in his delivery and the way he works. It's pretty good company.
I'd say the Yankees will be happy with that.
You bet. I was asking Greg Walker today about Ramiro Pena, and he said, you know, he does a lot of good things. Left-handed, he has a little bit too much movement right now. We're trying to cut some of that out, but he can throw the big end of the bat out there and put the ball in play.
That one's sprayed foul. And count stays full 3-2.
And speaking of shortstops, I asked Freddie Gonzalez today about a progress report on Paul Janisch too, and he said that, you know, it's his non-throwing shoulder, so he can still field and throw and all those things, but hitting-wise, they want to make sure that he doesn't do anything to damage what was surgically repaired in that left shoulder. You know, you can just see a guy maybe getting fooled in one-handed swing and somehow getting too far extended. And he used, he said that they like to get beyond the 6-month mark from surgery. So I'm not sure where that's going to be, what the date is on that. But I think they're trying to give it 6 months plus to make sure.
Yeah, that extension is what plagued Brian McCann so much in September last year. And Freddie said before the game about Brian, his batting practice session today went perfectly.
I watched him. It was a thing of beauty. And one of the things that Brian's most proud of, he said, I think when I moved up in the order, like in the cleanup spot, I started thinking I got too pull happy. And one of the first signs of that was people putting shifts on me. And he said, if you remember me when I first came up, my first full year, he said, I peppered a lot of balls down the left field corner. I hit a lot of doubles to left center and down the left field line, and I got completely away from that. Well, I watched Brian take batting practice today, and that's what he was working on. And, man, he was just flipping that ball with ease, going the other way, something he hadn't done much in the last year or so.
And the date that folks are starting to use a little bit more frequently for Brian's return is April 16. As B.J. Upton swings the first pitch. And skies out to left for out number 2. Of course, that's subject to a whole lot of variables, but the timetable's always been mid-April. That's what Freddie Gonzalez was saying today. And the next step for Brian is going to be throwing. He's not thrown 120 feet yet, meaning from behind the plate to throw out a runner at second, for example. That's part of the rehab process yet to come for the Braves catcher. Good at bat for Hayward last time. It drove home the game's first and only run.
Saw Brian playing catch today, too, with Lloyd Van Pamplin, the physical therapist. And Lloyd's arm ought to be in shape. As many guys as he's got to work with on playing catch. But, yeah, I mean, April 16th, that's a month from today. And let's hope that McCann's progress is such that he's ready to go in a month.
off the plate for Jason. 3 balls and a strike.
That looked like his slider. That good slider we talked about early in the game. He tried to throw a backdoor pitch, but it just missed.
And that one further off the plate. A 2-out walk for Hayward brings up Justin Upton.
And before Justin hits, a reminder that Georgia Power customers can take advantage of Georgia Power's refrigerator recycling program. Free pickup for your second working refrigerator or freezer. Plus, you get $50. So if you got an old clunker, you want to get it out of the garage, call Georgia Power. And I'm not talking about your car. Although you don't have too many clunkers.
I don't keep them long enough to get clunkered, right? Here's Upton. And he swings the first pitch, pops it foul out of play. Strike 1. Well, we didn't see Justin an awful lot because he played with the Diamondbacks. We see him once, twice a year. When I see him physically, he reminds me of Andrew Jones. Physically. Same body type.
He was right on top of the plate and kind of challenges you to pitch him inside.
Yes, he played in a hitter-friendly ballpark. Yes, his home road splits are a little bit frightening. But he also played hurt last year and put up very, very good power numbers for the Diamondbacks. He scored 100 runs, too. Hayward's running. Throw to second. Not in time. Jason got in with a left hand. A stolen base. Something else the Braves figured to feature in their offensive attack.
The second of the spring. Looked like a good slide, too. Cervelli got rid of it quickly. But a little bit toward the first base side of the bag. Just under the tag.
Line into center field, a base hit. Hayward streaks around third. Mesa loads up, airmails everybody. Upton around second. He's going to head for third. The throw there is high and late.
Yesterday, if you were with us, we saw Justin Upton make a great running catch near the left field line. Covered a lot of ground to rob a hitter of an extra base hit. One of the things that you may not know about him is his speed. Airmail throw. He never hesitated when he got around second base. He sees it go to the backstop. Man, oh man, did he circle him. But a stolen base and another clutch 2-out hit.
One from Hayward, not one from Justin Upton, and that extends the Braves' lead to 2-0. Larry Rothschild, the Yankees pitching coach, about to give Phelps a breather here. As the Braves now 6 hits in the ball game. Ruling on that play is an RBI single. Upton takes second on the throw, third on the throwing error by Melky Mesa.
Melky threw that one on top of the Mesa.
Let's see if Francisco can plate a third Braves run.
Pretty good exhibition of base running by Hayward and Justin Upton, wasn't it?
Oh.
There's a breaking ball on Juan. With that big body turn. First move has got to be back to the right, and if it's committed already, hard to keep your hands back and wait.
Phelps tried it again, missed this time low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Yankees bullpen starts to work. One would think this might be the final inning for Phelps. High fly ball belted right center field. Mesa turns and watches that one hit halfway up the scoreboard.
Nobody said he couldn't hit a breaking ball or off-speed pitch. It's just that when he gets so locked in on just fastballs, he gets committed too soon. And that might have been a high fastball. I thought it was something off-speed, but not so. Fastball and just blistered right off his face out there, just to the right of his face on the message board. 2 tape measure shots in 2 days.
And the Braves continue to hit the long ball. Their 23rd home run as a club this spring. And the Braves have plated 3 in the 5th. All the Atlanta runs coming with 2 out hits.
That ties him for the team lead.
Was that fastball higher than high?
Yeah, it was up. It was up and away. A strong kid. Remember, there have been a couple of shots hit out that way that didn't even get to the warning track because of some breeze tonight. That pitch up and away from him. He got on top of it, got level with it, I should say, and hit it off the message board.
Two and 2 to Gattis. And a swing and a miss takes care of the Braves catcher, but not before Atlanta scores 3 times in this 5th inning. A 2-out walk to Hayward, then a stolen base. Justin Upton with an RBI single, and then Juan Francisco with another tape measure homer extends the Braves lead at 4-0.
Back-to-back good starts for Paul Maholm. 5 innings of shutout ball against the Nationals a few days ago, and then tonight against the Yanks, getting his ground ball pitch working. A couple of double plays turned behind him, doing his position well as he always does. There's the second of the double plays, and he struck out a couple, and he works on into the 6th. Gotta like that. 9 ground outs. 9 outs from ground balls, rather. That's Paul Maholm's bread and butter.
And now he's got 4 runs with which to play. Couple of changes for the Braves as the Yankees come up in the 6th inning. And a swing and a miss takes care of Nunez. That's out number 1. Matt Pagnozzi takes over behind the plate. And Jordan Schaefer moves into the lineup as the Braves left fielder. Here's Jason Nix. And he strokes one towards Schaefer. Jordan fooled for a moment, but recovered in time. And that's the 2nd out.
Battling the sun a little bit out there, too. Nice recovery.
Well, it's 16 days till opening day, and we're pleased to be joined by the general manager of the Braves, Frank Wren. It's getting close now, huh?
Yeah, well, I guess you can say that. It's we've been here so long, you feel like it's close, but we're not. You know, a couple weeks is still quite a long time.
Quick strike to Ben Francisco. We had talked, I guess Joe talked to you yesterday, and you said there are still 3 jobs that are still in flux?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think, you know, obviously the third base job is one that we're going to continue to watch, and Juan Francisco did today what he's capable of doing. I mean, he's capable of changing a ball game. We've seen him the last 2 nights hit balls way out of here. Got a backup outfield job that we're going to continue to watch and see how it develops. Jordan Schaefer's played really well. Costanza just getting here with his visa yesterday. Put him a little behind the 8 ball, but I think the way Jordan's played, you know, he's made it tough for anyone else to win that job. And then we've got a bullpen job. After you get back past our guys that are going to be finishing games, somewhere in the middle, we're going to have a job available.
How about that pitch?
Pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. That's
somewhat of an ephus there. Nice job by Paul. If that's his last one, that was a beauty.
Another 1, 2, 3 for Paul Maholm. Frank will stick around. We'll talk a little bit more about what's been going on in camp. 4-0 Braves the lead.
Only
Fox Sports South brought to you in part by Honda Lawn and Garden. 4-0 Braves. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. just 2 hits allowed by Paul Mahalem in his 6 innings of work. He was absolutely terrific.
Well, he's following up a start over against Vieira against the Nationals last week where he pitched basically the same. He pitched very well, mixed it up well, kept him off balance, and I would say he's ready to go.
You know, I said last year when the Braves got him that he's one of those guys that you can tell real early if Paul's on or not. If he's getting his ground balls and easy outs, you know that the ball's moving. He's hitting spots because he's got to be real good, real fine with his control.
Well, I think he's especially tough for an aggressive team. A team that likes to charge the fastball. He's going to sink it, change speeds, and do a lot of things to keep them off stride. And you know, the last 2 outings have been really good.
Really good.
Chris Johnson leads things off for the Braves. New Yankee pitcher is a man that sounds like a future senator, Preston Claiborne. Here's the man working in relief of David Phelps, who went 5 innings tonight. Chris in that mix at third base, and we've seen he can play some first too.
Yeah, I think his versatility really helps us because we have a right-handed, replacement for Freddie Freeman if Freddie has some injury problems, or we just obviously need to give him days off from time to time. It gives us a little different mix.
That's off the glove of Nix, and Johnson will reach to start the Atlanta 6th.
How does that work, Frank? Without giving away your trade secrets, but like when you made the big deal to get Justin Upton and 4 guys going to Arizona, and you also get Chris Johnson, which I hate to make it sound disrespectful, but a throw in on the deal in the eyes of many. But how do you get that extra guy thrown in on the deal coming back this way?
When we were talking through the deal, I think one of the things that was apparent based on how they were going to use the pieces they got in their deal, I mean, not pieces, but Martin Prado, he was going to play third for them. And so that made Chris Johnson available, and I think they really felt like that it would make the deal work better for them if somehow we could work that out, and it worked better for us as well. So I think that's one of those that, it was good for both teams.
So Chris reaches on an E5. And Tyler Pasternicki, the batter, he's been on base almost every day of the last 2 weeks.
Tyler's had a lot of really good at bats. He's been right on the ball, driving it, hitting the ball the other way. He's had a good spring.
Good offensive player, good base runner.
How about the glove? You seeing improvement there from him?
Yeah, I am. He's made some spectacular plays at shortstop, especially with Simmons being gone to the WBC and him getting a chance to play a lot. And then Pena was gone for a while as well. And so he and our young kid Elmer Reyes played primarily shortstop for that week or so we were without those 2 guys, and both of them played really well.
So that's perhaps another one of those jobs that could go down to the final day or 2 of spring training, right?
Yeah, I think we watch what goes on. Romero Pena has probably a tad more versatility in the fact that he's a switch hitter, but I think we're really pleased with what we've seen out of Tyler this spring.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Deep short. Nice pick. Nice turn. And just in time for the double play. First twin-killing turn by the Yankees in tonight's ball game. The base is clear for Reed Johnson. 2 outs.
It's got to be a hard-hit ball, and it's got to be a perfect turn to get Tyler on a double play, too. He gets down the line so well. It's played by Nunez to get it started.
7 hits, 4 runs, all 6 strikeouts.
Well, Frank, bad news that the U.S. knocked out of the WBC, but good news, Craig Kimbrell's back in camp.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those mixed blessings where you're real happy to get Craig back and get him back where we can spend the last 2 weeks getting him to work at the regular intervals and getting him in shape the way he needs to be. But, you would like the USA to advance, that's for sure.
A strike to Reed Johnson. 0-2, but like everybody else in Braves country, it's awfully fun to see the Netherlands and Anderson Simmons play.
He's been fun to watch. It's been special because he's been such a big part of that team, both offensively and defensively. It seems like there's a highlight every day.
And leading off.
And leading off. And leading off.
Freddie Gonzalez told me before the game, Frank, that Jordan Walden was going to throw some batting practice today. Did you get to see that, or did you get a report on it?
I got a report on it. He threw well, felt good. So he had a live BP back when we were taking our batting practice, and so he'll step it up, probably do that at least one more time, and then look to get him into games in the last 10 days.
Frank, always good to see you. Really appreciate your time. It's been a fun camp so far. Still some time and some jobs to be earned.
Exactly right. Well, good to be with you guys.
Stay busy. Frank Wren, our guests. 4-0 your score as we head to the 7th inning. There's no crying in baseball. The Braves are winning, for crying out loud. And here we go to the 7th inning. Here's some changes for the Braves. Joey Tadasilovic takes over at first base. David Carpenter is on to pitch.
Well, he had a whirlwind offseason. He was with Toronto, but got traded with his manager to Boston, and then a month later was placed on waivers, and that's how the Braves got him. But spent some time with Houston and the Blue Jays last year in the big leagues.
I can just hear Carpenter as a grandfather. Yeah, you know, John Farrell was a throw-in that deal. So we'll see how David fares tonight. And joining us down in the dugout is Evan Gattis. Evan, welcome to Braves country. Chip Carey, Joe Simpson. We thank you for joining us tonight.
Chip, Joe, how you guys doing?
We're doing great, Evan. I don't think we're doing as good as you are, but thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's this big league journey like?
Well, it's been great. It's been great. Last year was my first taste of big league spring training, and it's been a little different this year. I feel like I have an opportunity to make the club, and no, it's been going good. And just trying to get better at everything, and eventually, hopefully, win the World Series.
You had a great offseason playing down in Venezuela. Had you played winter ball before?
No, never. My first experience.
And how was it?
It was great. It was definitely it was good, and preparing me for further down the line. I think the fans are really into it. It's really high pressure, and I liked it. I did well, and I enjoyed it. Enjoyed playing down there.
And you picked up a new nickname down there too.
Yeah,
huh?
well, so Blanco somehow. I don't know what that's all about, but whatever.
It was pretty good. I liked it.
The Braves have used you behind the plate. You've played some outfield. Where do you feel you're most comfortable?
Most comfortable behind the plate still. I mean, I was told last year at the end of spring training they wanted me to try left field, and I was eager to do it. I always wanted to. And, no, it's been good, but definitely feel more comfortable behind the plate. I've caught since I was a little kid, so, it was good.
Just kind of in a rocking chair back there today. You and Paul Maholm had it working.
Yeah, we got in a good rhythm early, and just go with that. He had great command with a lot of pitches today, and it was awesome. It's fun. It makes catching a lot fun.
Well, I'm going to give you a compliment. You only gave up 2 hits, but one of them He shook you off 3 times before he got to that breaking ball and gave up the second hit. I'm sure you brought it to his attention.
No, that's not my spot. That's I want the pitcher to throw what he wants to throw, with some conviction. So, if he feels better throwing another pitch, then, more power to him.
I'm sure, Evan, as you've gotten older and wiser, you have thought and reflected about not just your baseball journey, but the life journey that you have taken. Would you ever have imagined 5-6 years ago that you would be sitting where you are right now in a Major League uniform?
Not even close. Not even close. Definitely not. Never could imagine.
Well, you've got the Braves fans eagerly anticipating your arrival to Turner Field, whenever that is, and a lot of us are hoping it's coming up April 1st. So continued good work and good luck to you.
Well, I appreciate it.
That's Evan Gattis. Appreciate talking to you, kid. We'll see you next week. We've got 2 more broadcasts, as we showed you, against the Pirates.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
And the Nationals.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
There's nothing more exciting, I think, in baseball than stories like Evan Gattis. About the #1 picks and guys like that. But a young man who was lost in life, quite frankly, figured things out, and has so much talent, has changed his life, changed his fortunes, and perhaps is 2 weeks away from making a Major League roster in most unpredictable fashion. What a story. 4-0 as we stretch at Disney. Nothing's our score after the 7th inning stretch. Braves comfortably in front tonight as they face the Yankees for the last time. Friends Fox Saturday Baseball returns with 3 great matchups. Angels outfielder Josh Hamilton heads back to Texas to face the Rangers, or the Yankees battle the AL champion Tigers, or the Cardinals and Giants meet again, a rematch of the NLCS. The debut of Fox Saturday Baseball is April the 6th. New pitcher on the mound for the Yankees. Tom Canley is out there. 5th-round draft pick by the Yankees in 2010 out of Lynn University here in Florida. This man's rumored to have a very electric fastball.
Well, speaking of that, for our fans, might get your first look at J.R. Graham, if not in the 8th, by the 9th. He's scheduled to pitch. A guy that all the staff has been raving about. Hard throwing right-hander.
First pitch swing. Pena lifts a 94-mile-an-hour fastball to left. That's Ben Gamel who's taken over for the Yankees out there. 1 pitch, 1 out. Corbin Joseph is the Yankees' 3rd baseman. Cito Culver is in at shortstop. And the Yankees have a new catcher, as you see. That's Austin Romine.
Might be a little tough to see at the moment, too. Bright sunshine on the batter's eye, and pitcher and batter are in the shadows.
Let's not forget Neil Medchell. He's the new Yankees right fielder. Upton hits a towering fly ball to center. 2 outs.
Ball really jumps off BJ's bat. He doesn't have to swing hard. Really strong hands, wrists, and forearms.
Jason's RBI hit in the third, scored the only run the Braves have needed to this point.
And in there for the duration, at least to this point, wanting to get at least one more at bat. Putting in some extra work on his swing. That resulted in that RBI hit, a good walk that he earned in the 5th inning after 2 out that led to a 3-run inning. One of the aspects of this ball club we haven't talked a lot about, Chip, has been the defense, and how will the retirement of Chipper, the trade of Martin, and the free agency of Michael Bourne, how's that going to affect this ball club that led the National League in defense last year? And I think it actually has a chance overall to be better. It won't be as good at third base with Chipper gone, but I think the overall outfield defense, and that's with all due respect to Michael Bourne and Martin when he was out there, but those 3 guys, the 2 Uptons and Hayward, there's a chance for 3 Gold Gloves out there, the way they can go get the ball. And of course, Simmons with a full year at shortstop, so solid. And Freddie about as good as it gets at first base.
Downstairs, full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I was really surprised at some of the knocks on Freeman's defense in the offseason. Some of the rating services, for what that's worth, talking about his defense. And you and I seen him on a daily basis, know how good he is at first, especially at saving throws in the dirt.
Hayward walks. That comes with 2 outs, and Jordan Schaefer bats. That's, I don't know what zone rating is. I don't know how you figure it. I don't know how that defensive metric stacks up to what your eyes tell you, and I agree with you. We saw him save countless throws that would have been errors had he not made plays at first base.
And if you were kind of reading in what Frank was saying about the outfield situation, he basically said it was going to be tough to unseat Jordan Schaefer from that last outfield spot, no matter what Constanza does the rest of spring training, because Jordan's played so well, and the fact that he's out of options. And if you were to try and send him back to AAA, you'd have to send him through waivers, and another club might claim him.
It's amazing all the little things that casual fans don't know or don't think about when they question, well, why did he make the roster over player B? Those certainly apply to Schaefer. as he got jammed and rolls out to short. And that will retire the Braves in the 7th inning. 8th inning comes your way at Disney.
Dodge is having their showcase.
Four 0 Atlanta the lead. Certainly the offense worth talking about, but so too the performance of Paul Maholm.
Yeah, Paul was great. Another shutout performance with his 6 strong innings, just 2 hits. A walk and 4 strikeouts, but the big blow of the game, our Honda Lawn and Garden play of the day. That tape measure shot again by Juan Francisco. That was the big blow in this 4-0 Braves lead. That was a 2-run shot. And here's another guy, Chip, that's been another one of those guys talk of the camp, this time from the pitching side. J.R. Graham. Out of that Craig Kimbrell mold in terms of body type, 6 feet, about 215, and he can bring it. He's a starting pitcher, but he's in the mid to upper 90s from start to finish.
And when you look at his career minor league numbers, you go 17-4 in 34 starts. You're doing something right. 162 strikeouts, 47 walks, and 205 innings.
He has an outside shot to make this club in the bullpen. He wouldn't be in the rotation. I know they want him to pitch, and they really want him to start. But with the injury to Jordan Walden's back, you know, there's a spot in that bullpen that several guys are competing for, and you can see how, with his power, he could slip in there.
I can just hear the rest of the National League saying, great, another guy in the Atlanta bullpen that throws 95.
Braves minor league pitcher of the year last year.
Look at that late swing by a good fastball hitter, Matt Diaz. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here are your defensive changes for the Braves for the final couple of innings. Jose Costanza is in the game in left. That moves Jordan Schaefer to right. Blake DeWitt's at third. And Luis Nunez checks in at second base. That moves Pasternacky over to shortstop.
Last pitch at 96.
Again, this time of spring training, I'm sure it's a lot of fun for the hitters facing Paul Maholm and then coming in and facing this guy.
In the shadows.
Yeah. In the air toward right, and that'll get down. That, folks, is Matt Diaz. get 2 strikes on him, that's right where he wants you.
Just keeps battling, fighting off pitches. Hitting full strikes again. Fastball. He's just trying to protect the plate inside out.
So Diaz aboard for Dan Johnson.
There was a good story about draft day, the day the Braves got J.R. Graham in the 4th round, and the scout out in California that recommended him was telling the Braves war room, you know, these kind of arms don't come along very often. And the other pitcher that they were considering.
In the air to center, Reed Johnson gives ground. Plenty of room for Reed.
To the scout's credit, talking the Braves into picking Graham. The other player that they were kind of not sure about has not progressed anywhere near at the same pace that Mr. Graham has.
Ali Castillo is going to pinch hit for the Yankees. Ball 1 outside. Graham 6 feet tall, 185 pounds, born in Livermore, California. You know where Randy Johnson was from?
I think you're right.
And Santa Clara University. Powder River, right on by. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
If a pitcher averages somewhere around a hit per inning or a little less, he's doing a great job, in my opinion. Last year he threw 148 innings combined between Lynchburg and Mississippi. And he only gave up 123 hits. That's a good number.
He's gone full to Castillo. Again, this time of camp, it's so exciting to think about the embarrassment of riches the Braves have as far as young pitchers are concerned. We talked about who's already on the Major League roster, but when you think of J.R. Graham, Alex Wood, Sean Gilmartin, there's more coming. That's what's so incredible and always has been about this Braves franchise.
Well, Alex Wood looked good. He opened some eyes. The 2nd round pick out of University of Georgia last summer. Got a little bit of an odd delivery, but he throws hard.
Little chopper. Pasternicki to the bag and across to first. J.R. Graham with a scoreless 8th inning. And the Braves continue to shut out the Yankees. 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Just 16 days until opening day. Boy, is that exciting. Turner Field will be packed, as you know. The chop will be in full display as the Braves battle the Philadelphia Phillies. We will have a very special Braves Live, an hour-long Braves Live beginning at 6 o'clock. And then Joe and I will get the season going for you. And, of course, Fox Sports, your exclusive home for all seasons coverage of Braves baseball. 152 games, all of them in high definition. We can't wait to get started. Here's Blake DeWitt. He'll face a new Yankee pitcher, left-hander Jeremy Black, I believe is how it's pronounced. And 1 pitch, 1 out. The Yankee lefty is out of Stanford University.
Willie did his job, apparently. Either that or Joe Girardi said, "What is Lit doing out there?"
We'll have to go work a side session. He threw 1 pitch. Needs a little more work. Four 4-0, bases empty, 1 out in the 8th inning. Big crowd tonight at Disney, 10,298. The official gate, it was a standing room only gathering tonight. Hope to see plenty of those at Turner Field. And fans, you can watch the Braves in style on the all-new Superior Plumbing Club located in Section 308. The club offers 4-person tables with flat screens, a $30 concession credit, exclusive valet parking, and a whole lot more. There are only 2 tables left for the 2013 season. To reserve yours, call 404-614-1562. Jim Miller's the new Yankee pitcher. Miller's seen some time with the Rockies, the Orioles, and Oakland. And he'll face Matt Pagnozzi.
Here's a guy we haven't talked about who's got a shot at the backup catching position until McCann comes back. Having a good spring. Limited at bats, but he's 5 for 14 with a double.
Matt was born in Miami. Spent a lot of times with the Cardinals organization. And that bottom line, remember Tom Pagnozzi, the former Cardinal catcher?
Yeah, and a good one. So he learned from one of the better defensive players at that position when Tom was in the big leagues.
Vad got the corner, and Pagnazzi's caught looking. That's out number 2. And it'll bring up Joey Trdoslovic.
Talk about a guy having a good spring. He got off to a good start and then got hotter from there. He's hitting 400. 3 doubles, a homer. He was one of the guys down in the cage early today, getting some work in, and he's a big guy. Six feet, 200 pounds. Very solid.
Tough time at AAA last year. Went back to AA and figured things out again. And his good spring continues. A base hit to right.
He's got good hands. Just a wonderful use of his hands in his swing. You might remember, too, last year they were trying to get him to go back to an old position that he played either in high school or college. They were trying him at third base, and I think that effort took a little bit away from his offense. And went back to AA, played a little more outfield where he was more comfortable, and the stroke came back.
And another Braves prospect with some major league bloodlines. His uncle was Mike Greenwell. Remember Mike with the Red Sox?
How could he hit? I think Mike won a batting title too. Not sure about that, but I think he did.
Four runs, 8 hits for the Braves. No runs, 3 hits for the Yankees. Both clubs with a couple of errors tonight. Braves are down in Port St. Lucie tomorrow. Julio Teheran will try to continue his great spring. He'll face Jonathan Neese. The Braves are back at Disney on Monday with the Phillies in town. That's Chris Medlin facing Aaron Cook. Braves got a single run in the third tonight. Jason Hayward drove home Reed Johnson with a 2-out single. Then some 2-out lightning in the fifth. A walk to Hayward. Justin Upton, an RBI hit, and then Juan Francisco, another tape measure homer. That one off the video scoreboard in right center field. A towering 3-run shot. And now Tyler, a full count. And ball 4, 2 on, 2 out. Fourth at bat for Reed Johnson tonight. Bounced foul at third, strike one.
One of the things you have to figure was part of Reed leading baseball in pinch hits last year is his aggressiveness. He always goes to the plate ready to hack.
That was something Greg Walker and I were talking about down in Jupiter the other day. All the concern about strikeouts. He said, hey, nothing wrong with picking out a good first pitch or second pitcher in the count, so you don't get to 2 strikes. But that's where Reed finds himself with 2 foul balls, 0-2 the count.
And he's another guy that's very strong. Not tall, but he is a strong guy. He's up off the end of the bat a little bit.
Bouncer to short. Long throw. And in time to retire the side. We head to the ninth. Nothing top of inning number 9. After our ball game, stay tuned for the must-see life story of Braves legend Chipper Jones. Sit down with a future Hall of Famer as he and his family share the greatest moments and untold stories of his career. Don't miss the encore presentation of Driven, the Chipper Jones story, narrated by the Professor Pete Van Wieren here on Fox Sports South.
I got to check that out.
Cito Culver leads off for the Yankees in the 9th. And there's that good fastball from Graham, swinging strike 1.
Tim Hudson was talking about Graham yesterday and about how he's got a good changeup. You just saw it right there. And they're trying to add like a slower breaking ball that has, as Tim said, a little more depth. Not like a hard slider. That just gives the hitter a little more off speed, something a little more to think about in terms of off speed.
These types of games are somewhat difficult to do because you have so little information on the non-roster players and the young players that come across in a B game like the Yankees do. Thankfully, we have the internet available, and just a quick search on Cito Culver. There are folks in the Yankees organization who are calling this young man the next Derek Jeter. Lined into the seats, foul. Look out, folks. Just missed.
Ooh. Larry Vanover's done a good job behind the plate today. But no flinch. Like a good pitch.
That was bounced off Culver's foot. He stopped running, looked at Larry Vanover. He's going to argue. No foul ball. I believe he's going to be called out. Home plate umpire didn't see it. The Braves might have gotten a break.
Well, when it bounced on the mound, I couldn't tell if it was from a lot of spin off his foot or if it just hit the slope of the mound and kicked it over to Blake DeWitt. And it hit near his foot, and he was limping. It might have gotten him.
Corbin Joseph bats with 1 out in the 9th inning. While we were showing you that replay, as Culver walked over to the Yankees dugout, first guy that greeted him was Joe Girardi and said, I'm sure, let the umpires umpire.
Yeah. Unless, of course, your toe is broken, that'd be a good idea to go to the ground.
Right. That's laced out of play foul to the left side.
But as advertised for Graham, I mean, he's ranged from 93 to 97 in these 2 innings. He looks like he just likes to get the ball and fog it.
High fly ball right center field, but that's playable. 2 outs. And here's Ben Gamble. Wonder if he's related to Matt.
Well, he got hurt again, didn't he?
Yeah,
for the Brewers?
Second ACL in as many years.
Man.
Yep. Yankees down to their final strike. And Gamble will stay alive.
This is fun getting to watch him pitch.
Yeah.
After hearing so much about him.
See you later. Over the outside corner, 96 miles an hour. And the Braves have shut out the Yankees. Final score, Atlanta 4, New York nothing. Great pitching by the Braves as they take care of business here at Champion Stadium. Fireworks above, highlights to follow. A 4-0 Atlanta win.